Hi there, and welcome back to the FFS podcast. Oh my god, we're finally here, man. It's been so long. I can't imagine. We finished the Euro tournament, and I was like, okay, before the Premier League season starts, or every other season starts, we're going to get season 3 underway. And then it felt like I want an extended summer vacation. I actually literally for the first time for like 2 months, I did not watch any football. Obviously I followed. I mean, cannot not like see Messi and Ronaldo. You can't avoid that. It's basically on every feed. But yeah, I mean, I was like, football was like the second thing. I actually started following F1 a lot more. It's just become so much fun. But yeah, it's just like for 2 months, no football. Like, I'm not like, oh, when's the next game coming? When's the next game coming? It's just like pure nirvana, and it was crazy. But I mean, all good things, I suppose, comes to an end, and we needed to. I think it was a long time coming. But anyway, I guess I don't know. Yeah, sorry. This is a new series, so you're only watching this on YouTube. So hi there. I normally don't wave or do anything because it's normally audio podcast. So, but hi, I'm Praddy, and this is what I look like. If you haven't seen some of the Euro tournament videos, or you haven't seen my appearances in some other podcast, so hi there, and welcome to the first episode of this new series of season 3. It's called It's Classified. It's a slight wordplay because what we're going to be doing is tier listing various things. So for today's episode, we're going to be tier listing the top 20 transfers of the 21-22 football season. We've got some really, really big hitters here because, oh my God, what a transfer window it's been. As much as I said, I didn't pay attention. I did not see some of the big moves happening. And towards the end of the transfer window, it was brilliant because I was kind of connecting, if Ronaldo moves here and then Kylian moves here, you kind of connect the dots, right? And you try and do your own transfer window where it's not possible. But enough about me. We've got two guests, as you can see, on this podcast. So let's start off with introductions. So let's start off with Alankrit. Alankrit, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been like a good 2 months. I'm glad to have you back here. And why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hey, Pradi, and hi everyone. It's amazing to be back on the FFS podcast. For people who already know me, I'm a Bayern fan. For people who don't know me, I'm a Bayern fan. And for people who already know me, this is my swanky ass room.
They still know you as a Bayern fan, anyway.
Yeah. So it's been a pretty fun summer. Sorry, Pradi, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, when you said swanky ass room, I was like, before we started recording, you're like, let me clean up everything, and then when you put on your video, it was completely.
I clean up pretty well, then, don't I?
Yeah, such a short time. But yeah.
So Bayern fan. So I guess we had a frustrating start to the transfer window, but then it was a fun end. At least we got some bits. So I'd say it's a 8 out of 10 transfer window for us.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get into that a little while later. And next we have Sanket. Sanket, you're new to the channel, whether it be this series or the previous series we had this season, in the previous season. So welcome to the podcast, and why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
First of all, Brady, thank you for having me on your podcast. Hi guys, I'm Sanket. Yeah, I'm a Real Madrid fan. I'm a member of Bombay and this transfer summer was like really hectic for me. To be honest, towards the end, especially every morning I have to get up and Fabrizio Romano, I'm checking for his tweets, and it's nothing. It was really horrible last few days for us, but let's hope the season goes good.
I think like us, you had a really decent start because actually, in a way, we all got some sort of connection. You stole David Alaba from.
Yeah, it was like
not stole. I wouldn't say steal, but you obviously David Alaba had that issue but he ended his contract at Bayern, or his contract ended in Bayern, and then he decided to move to Real Madrid. And then of course there was a lot of talk of Perez saying we don't have money, and then ending up trying to bid 200 billion for Mbappe in the dying days, which I thought he would have, and I felt like I was supposed to have a PSG fan on here because I wanted to get his thoughts on this, because it felt like PSG had to sell him if they were going to get any sort of money, because it doesn't seem likely like he's going to sign a contract extension. And would you risk going at it for free? But yeah, those last few days, like I said, we've been connecting a lot of things, making deals ourselves, but it really never came to be. We thought, what a chance for Messi and Ronaldo to be at the same club, right? Had Kylian gone to Real Madrid, that could have been a real possibility.
Yeah, that would.
We could have seen both of them. But
it's also like very surprising, right? Because he could have gotten Mbappe for free. Why is he bidding 200 million?
I guess he just kind of wants to test the waters and see. But also, I guess if he gets it, then at least that's one season less that he has to wait.
That's true.
But yeah, again, who knows with Perez? You don't know.
I guess it's because Perez wanted to show Mbappe that he's going all out for him, and next summer you can just in January you can just sign pre-contract and it will be all done.
I guess the other suitors. We were the other suitors, potential suitors, but we will never showcase 180 million, 200 million. So we are basically, had Perez not done that, I would have said had a better chance next season. Like, I know he wants to go to Real Madrid, but I think we would have had a better sort of like an intention showing that, or a better package to show Mbappe saying, why don't you come here, be with us for a couple of years and then go. But I feel like that 180 bid kind of just sealed the deal for Mbappe. He's like, yeah, you want me for 180 million, I'm coming. But anyway, those are transfers that didn't happen. So let's kind of shift our focus to transfers that did happen. And what I'm going to do is, first, I'm going to share my screen so we can all have a look at that. So as you can see, we've got the the top 20 transfers of the 21-22 season. And what we're going to do is, I would have normally said maybe go with alphabetical order, and I suppose that is how it's allocated. So that's brilliant. So we'll kind of start with the, from the top row to the bottom row. And okay, so before we get to that, to those of you watching this, I probably should let you know also about how we're going to do this. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to start from top left and end at bottom right. And we've got 5 tiers that we've put out there. So we've got instant hit. So instant hit is basically people who we believe have been bought and who will be instant successes, who will hit the ground running from minute one and who will blow the league away. Then we've got promising. Now these are either youngsters or people who might take 1 to 2 years to build up or develop and maybe get used to that league or get adapted to that league, and of course will become stars a couple of years from now. Then we've got 50-50, who we think may or may not have a great success. These could be even loan players, right? Because we never know with loan players how they're going to turn out at times. We've got risky business, where we think it might be a slight gamble for these clubs to have made this decision. And lastly, we've got what were we thinking, which is basically why. Why would you go for such a deal? And it sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And we think it'll be a total utter failure. So those are the 5 tiers that we have. And how we're going to do it is, I'm going to call out the name. We're going to see the player. We're going to probably talk about the player and the move a little bit. And then we will, I will first probably tell them, I'll probably first give my opinion as to where he falls. And then we'll have our guests also given their opinions. And guys, don't feel, you can stop me while I'm talking as well to say, Brady, you're talking utter nonsense. And I think he should be there. We'll take that in account, and majority wins. Luckily, we've got 3 people. So it'll never be that we've got an equal vote. So it's either unanimous or we're going to have a majority win situation. So I think this series is great because it'll end up being slightly controversial. I think our previous series, they were a lot more mellow. We had people kind of agreeing with a lot of stuff. And even if they didn't agree, it was kind of like you had reason. Here, it's kind of going to be a lot more controversial, and I'm here for all the fun.
Yeah,
I'm probably here for all.
I'm looking forward to making a lot of controversial calls.
Yeah, yeah. That's about it. I mean, I don't want it to be too talk sporty, where it's controversial for controversial's sake. So just because
Yeah.
you want to get the headlines that you want to be controversial, but I mean, this if there's any way or any time to be controversial, it's this series. So I'm glad that we can do this. All right, guys. So let's start with the first one, and the first one is none other than Antoine Griezmann to Atletico Madrid. Now, this is obviously a deal that was made because of Barcelona's shit situation, with the fact that they couldn't register any of their signed players, which is, as it is, I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then they had the unfortunate decision to have to let Messi go in order to cut wages. And then when we learned also that Griezmann was on 850k per week, which is yet another indication of how good Barcelona does their business.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we have a Real Madrid fan because he's just laughing. Sanchez is laughing out so much. But I mean, we had this bizarre thing of Antoine Griezmann going back to Atletico. Is he on loan or?
Yeah, he's on loan.
He's on
loan.
Yeah,
but I think there's an obligation to buy him next window.
Yeah, they can buy him back.
Right. And this is, I mean, it's for me, it's perplexing because Barcelona paid 120 odd million for a player like Antoine Griezmann, which I felt at that point itself was idiocy, to replace, I suppose, an already aging Suarez with an aging player.
Yeah.
Didn't play him in the best positions, and then now has to sell him back to the club they bought him for I don't know how much it'll end up being, but it's definitely not going to be 120 million. For me, though, I'm not sure how this transfer is going to be. For me, I think this is the most preposterous transfer I can think of. Like, why? What?
I'm on the same page as you because if you just observe the events that have unfolded, they've sold Suarez to Atletico. They've had to let go of Messi. Atletico won the title last year because they got Suarez, and now they got 40 million plus Griezmann, and they're not even paying his wages, I think. So, I think from a Barcelona point of view, this transfer has to be what were we thinking. But I think look from an Atletico point of view, it's a pretty promising transfer for them. They're getting a player like Griezmann for virtually nothing.
Yeah, and a player who's been quite accustomed to playing under Simeone. So he's not like a new player, right? Right. I mean, Sanket, you'll know because Atletico, as it is with Suarez, was quite a daunting prospect. Now they've got back a player who has done well for them under Simeone, and you never know how this is going. I mean, we don't know how this is going on, but on paper, this seems like for Atletico a huge W.
To be honest, I don't understand Barcelona's transfer policy. It's boggling. So I mean, you buy a player from direct rivals for how many millions, I don't know, and then you loan him out. He has a wage, like a nominal wage, and you again sell them to the direct rivals who are defending titles, like La Liga titles, and you did that. You let go of Suarez for free, and then you replace Suarez with another aging player, Aguero. I don't know what is happening there.
Well, so, we all know why Aguero was bought.
I mean, just you've got to feel for him, right? He's been done so dirty this window. He could have come to any other club, and still probably would have set it alight. But he went to Barcelona just to play with Messi, and now.
Okay, so let's do this. As I mean, obviously there are two sides: the buyer and the seller's point of view. Obviously, we think from Barcelona's point of view, this is one of the worst deals they made overall. Buying and selling for them, it's been terrible. But for Atletico, and I think we should look at the buyer's side. So for Atletico, where would you guys put this?
I'm on promising.
Same as me, because he was really playing well under Simeone. He knows the system. He has got some good players to combine with. He's got Felix, he's got Suarez, and I think he can play very well under him. Simeone understands him. So he's very promising prospect for them, even though he's aged.
All right, so that's our first player that's gone up there. And yeah, so let's move on now to the next one, which is Ashraf Hakimi. Now, this is a player that I'm sure both of you know pretty well. And in the sense that I know did Bayern want him?
I think there was a small phase where Bayern were interested in Hakimi, but I think the price tag really,
Yeah.
bamboozled Bayern away.
But I mean, you know him from his time at Dortmund, right? As in the kind of player that he was. And of course, I mean, he was a Real Madrid player as well. So you guys will know this. And for me, Hakimi, at least what he's done in Dortmund, was phenomenal. Kind of showed the kind of, the talent that he is. At Real Madrid, I don't know, Sanket, were you slightly surprised that Real Madrid didn't want to, I don't know if they had the option to say, to bring him back, but
actually, I don't understand this. We do have Danny Kaaba, but again, he's like 29, 30 almost. And then we had Alvaro Diozola, who's been loaned out again. But to sell Hakimi...
Bayern will know. I mean, Alan Chris knows him very well.
Yeah, he did really well. So, I mean, I can't complain with Adriozola's performance at Bayern.
Yeah. Sure.
So coming back to Hakimi, I mean, I really thought he would want to stay and play for his position against Kaaba, and he would have done that because Kaaba has been injury prone, and now we have other than Kaaba, we only have Lucas Vazquez. So I think I really thought he would want to stay at the club, but this move was a bit shocking for me.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because obviously, I mean, we've seen Perez bid the 200 million. I don't know how much of a bluff that was because I don't know what their financial situation is. They keep complaining that they needed the ESL to be more, become a better, bigger financial powerhouse. But I mean, I was surprised because, like you mentioned, Carvajal, yes, was good, but he is often injured of late. And his performances are decent, but I feel like Hakimi would have maybe elevated that attacking side a lot more. Kabal is defensively very good, but at least attacking wise, I felt like, and also like you mentioned, the age. If you look planning for the future, Hakimi definitely fits that bill. But for that price, I think it was 60 or 70 or I think 60 million.
I was honestly even perplexed by the fact that, I mean, I think we discussed this even in our Champions League review last season. I was very perplexed that Real Madrid didn't keep hold of Hakimi and they actually chose to sell him because Carvajal was aging already and Hakimi was I thought the purpose of loaning him out was to groom him to get more experience and come back to Madrid to take that right back position.
Yeah.
And to me, I thought Hakimi was already on par with Carvajal, if not better. So I was extremely perplexed with the choice of selling Hakimi.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what his relationship was with Zizou at the time because I know he and Zizou's son are quite close as some of the Instagram photos and they hang out pretty much. So I don't know what the relationship is, but clearly Hakimi thought that, I mean, Real Madrid weren't probably the ideal fit for him or he wouldn't get more playing time than maybe, I mean, PSG, I think PSG anyway had their issues with the fullback spots. Juan Bernat and Kurzawa, not ideally. Florenzi as well. Yeah, it's not ideally the best ones, but I mean, it's one of the many coups of PSG this season. It's insane. And so, where do you think this would go? I think for me, given the woes of PSG, maybe he becomes. I think I still might put him promising. I don't know. I put him more promising than Griezmann. So anyone. So again, the most becomes left, and then to the right becomes the least in that same bracket. So for me, I think he's between instant hit and promising. But I think he might take at least a year or two to adapt to that league and to that team. Yeah. But I think promising. But what do you guys think?
So
please go ahead.
No, go ahead, guys.
I think he's promising because even at the Inter, he took his time to settle down. I think with this super team, it will be a little tough for him to, to play on that right wing. He will take his time to settle. I don't think he will be an instant hit. He is promising.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm tending towards promising, but the other half was not instant hit. I was actually 50-50 because
Price
one,
tag.
I price tag, yes. Two, also, he's not the typical Pochettino type of fullback. Pochettino also likes fullback who does a lot of defensive work, whereas Hakimi is more attacking. And three, I'm not really sure PSG is the best club for Hakimi in terms of his career. So that's why I was tending towards 50-50. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Would you put him to the right of Antoine or to the left of Antoine? Right would be where you're talking about.
Right. I'd put
and
him
Sanket?
right.
I would put them to the right, I guess, because Antoine Griezmann is in front.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Majority wins, and he's here. Great. Next, we move on to Andre Silva. Now, this is a play that kind of went under the radar. Actually, not one that was really, because he kind of probably got lost in the midst of the other major transfers that PSG were doing. But Andre Silva to Leipzig, that's an interesting one, especially given that Leipzig has sort of, wars at the front. He's missing Timo Werner's loss, kind of did play a part. I know Nkunku hit a hat-trick recently, but still, I think they needed more firepower. And I don't know, Alankrit, you know best. What do you think Silva brings to?
So I think Silva is going to be an instant hit at Leipzig, mostly because he is the guy who's going to solve that big hole they have in front. So, and Leipzig are, they're struggling a bit under March right now, but if you ask me, at the start of the tournament itself, I was thinking Leipzig are going to be more serious contenders for the title than Dortmund. I guess just a bit of a bias also against Dortmund, but I genuinely think Leipzig are very good. So I was thinking with Andre Silva, they're going to definitely be up there. Hit a bit of like a topsy-turvy start, but I still think he's going to be an ace at Leipzig.
Sanket?
I think he's a very good player. At Leipzig, Leipzig has a tendency to to bring out best of players. I think he'll be an instant hit. He's like what he did at the Frankfurt, and I think he'll be brilliant. He has got much more support here than previous club. So he'll be a very good player. An instant hit, he'll be.
Perfect. All right. For me, I haven't seen much of him, but I'm going to go off what you guys have said. So I'm going to put him in as an instant hit, our first instant hit. Ooh, and now we come on to a very, very interesting person, Ben White for Arsenal, the big talking point of 50 million.
So I have a lot to say about this one. Ben White is very young, and Arsenal have paid 50 million. So I don't really think that he is someone that they're banking on to stay for 10 seasons and be there, because just looking at the state Arsenal are in, I am very confident that Ben White would want to move on from his career, for his career's sake at least, in 3-4 seasons from now. And you're not going to get more than 50 million 3-4 seasons from now. So essentially you spent...
Alanka, just give me a second because we've got Joseph coming in right now.
Oh yeah, sure.
Awesome. Hopefully, let's have him on here. Hi, Joseph. Oh, they just connected the audio. Zoom's taken quite a long time, and you took a while to. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Joseph. Can you hear us?
Yes. Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. So, Joseph, we were tier listing some of the transfers of the 21-22 season, and as a PSG fan, you'll have a lot to talk about because your club has done some major business.
Yes, for sure. I think the PSG have done the greatest mercato this season, I think. And especially that all our new players came with zero cost deals except Wijnaldum. So
no, I think
including Messi, yeah.
Wijnaldum also was free. I think only Hakimi
Maybe
was.
Ashraf, yes, Ashraf Hakimi.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right. So we were just talking right now about Ben White, who's transferred to Arsenal. So he's a defender, and we were just looking at where. I mean, have you heard of him? And do you think he'll do good at Arsenal?
I don't know. I didn't hear about this player. I don't know anything about him because I only focus on PSG players.
I'm sure there'll be other major players that we're going to be talking about. But Alankit, you were talking about Ben White.
Yeah. So I just think that based on his age, the fact that he's also quite raw right now, and that they spent 50 million on him, plus the state that Arsenal are in, I don't really see them going on an upward trajectory. It just feels like Arsenal have spent 50 million to develop Ben White for the likes of Manchester City, Manchester United, and Chelsea, and they're not going to even make a big profit on Ben White. They're not going to get more than 50 million. So I really have no idea what the logic behind this transfer was.
Sanket, any words?
To be honest, I haven't seen him play much, but I watched him last season. I don't really think he's a 50 million worth of player. He, as Alankrit said, Arsenal might not make a profit. They may not, or they will not. So I think it's quite a risky business. Actually, I don't know why they signed him for so much money.
I think you've perfectly put. I think it's risky business. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I also think. I mean, he's good, but I feel like the Arsenal idiocy in defense might rub off on him.
It's already starting to show. It already started to show because I saw the Brentford game and the goals they conceded was bad. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the next one. This is a huge one because this is probably equal to the biggest transfer this season, and this is none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to ask. Yeah, I'm going to ask Joseph this because Joseph, we were talking before you came on. We were talking saying that this season might be the first season we could see Messi and Ronaldo play for the same team. Because there were a lot of talks of maybe PSG going in, maybe selling Mbappe. If Real Madrid came in for Mbappe, then PSG could get Ronaldo in. And everybody was just hoping to see that one last... I mean, it would be everyone's dream to see Messi and Ronaldo play for the same team. It was a fantasy until now. But what did you make of that, the choice of Ronaldo leaving? And did you think he'd come to PSG?
At the beginning, there are some rumors, the press and the news, they talked about this point. But honestly, myself and a lot of PSG fans who knows what's going on inside the club, we didn't see this will happen because we know the intention of the club. Ronaldo he's a great player. He's one from the best, but he wasn't a choice for Leonardo and for Al Khalifi. Because, we have Messi, we have Neymar, and we wanted to keep Mbappe. So the choice of leaving Mbappe didn't exist at all. It's not like the rumors and the news. Whatever we see in the news is not correct. But what's going on inside the club is something else. Because Mbappe, he didn't renew till now. This is correct. But he didn't say that he will leave the club this year. So that's why all this news, we didn't believe about it. Of course, we would love to see Ronaldo and Messi playing in the same team, but it will be very, 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 very. I don't know how to explain it.
Near impossible, very difficult.
Yeah. The team will be something. I cannot find.
It'll be very unbalanced. I mean, it'll be about them, I suppose.
Unbalanced. Yes, unbalanced.
Yes, I agree.
And I saw him going to Manchester United. I was very happy to see him playing with his old team rather than see him playing with us, because for each player there is a place, there is a location. So when I saw him back to Manchester United, really I was happy for him.
All right. And do you think he'll be an instant hit, or what do you see him doing? Yeah.
Yes.
I guess this
regardless
is probably
the last game. Regardless the last game, he did something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not his fault. That's Manchester United's defense. It worked, but
yes, it was a mistake of
what
was his name? Yes. And the selection of the coach.
Yeah.
Also, we've done the same mistake. Our coach did the same mistake. He didn't put the correct formation, and he didn't make the correct change during the game. So that's why PSG put 1-1 to Club Brugge, who played a very nice game. I think that Club Brugge should win and not go out with 1-1.
Awesome. Let's now move on to so this is instant hit. I don't think there's and this is probably a bigger instant hit than Andre Silva.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to David Alaba, because I think Bayern and Real Madrid, you guys will have something to say about this. Let's start with Sanket this time. So Sanket, what do you think of David Alaba's signing?
So first of all, we knew that Varane's gonna go. He wanted to leave the club. So the moment we got the news that Alaba is joining us, I was really happy because he can fill in the void of Varane. And his experience.
Like Varane was quite late. I mean, I know he did have his intention of leaving, but that was a little late. I thought wasn't Alaba brought in to fill up Ramos's departure?
Actually, the thing is, Varane was wanting to go to Manchester United since last season. There were bids coming in as well. So I was pretty sure that Varane will leave, and I was actually pretty sure that Ramos will renew his contract. So I was actually thinking that Ramos and Alaba will play together. So yeah, I was happy that we're getting a Champions League winning centre back or left back. So I think he's a good player. He's now the leader at defense. He has the capability to lead our defense. We have a pretty young defense, so I think he'll be an instant hit.
Okay, Ankit, before I get your thoughts, I want to ask you, because we just kind of do two at the same, because you got another centre back next to him, which is Upamecano. So you kind of sold David Alaba, and you obviously had that deal with Leipzig earlier on to say that we buy Upamecano from you. So how did you see that deal, both deals?
So with Alaba, obviously it was a bit disappointing to see him leave. Like, I mean, I guess after a point, resentment just settles in, and you just make amends with not amends, you just make peace with what the situation is. So I'm actually happy Alaba chose to play for another, possibly one of the biggest clubs right now, and he didn't settle for, like, no disrespect to Chelsea, but like, they're not Real Madrid. But yeah, so I'm glad he didn't settle for like Chelsea. Given how we did get Upamecano, I think Upamecano came in as a very crucial cog to this defense, because without Alaba and Boateng, and also possibly we didn't lose Javi Martinez, even though he doesn't always play in the centre back areas. He was an option there. So we lost three very senior players, and Alaba probably still not senior most among those two in terms of age, but very experienced. So you've lost someone like that, and you're getting someone of the quality of Upamecano. I definitely think that he's also an instant hit, because and you can already see that with the performances Bayern are putting in, because we haven't conceded a goal in a very long time, like in the league. So and this was sort of it's so nice, because last year we were constantly conceding goals, and you already see the effect that it's had on the team. So with Alaba going, I'm very happy that he's actually playing for Madrid.
I guess from Upamecano, it helps that he's got Nagelsmann as the coach, someone who he's had experience with, so it helps.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure that Bayern would not be conceding goals if Flick was still in charge, because the way we played under Flick, it was a bit more gung-ho, high-line. With Nagelsmann, there's a little bit more concentration on the structure in the defensive part of the game, as well as keeping the high line. So Upamecano having that familiarity with the coach definitely is helping. And I think he's definitely going to be an instant hit.
Awesome. So both are instant hits, but now we have to look at where you think they're going to be. So Alaba, left of Andre Silva?
Yeah.
More of an instant
hit?
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. And Upamecano, left of Alaba, right of Alaba, right of Silva. How well do you think?
Left of Alaba, left of Andre Silva for sure. I'm not really sure of.
Both teams have had defensive issues like that they've had. Both teams have kind of needed the jigsaw puzzle to add. So
I think he's right of Alaba, because with Alaba, Bayern also had a very senior left back. So Upamecano still just solves the centre back issue, which is also pretty relevant issue that Bayern had, but I think Upamecano's not as versatile.
Perfect. We've done two quick ones. Okay, now this time I'm going to ask Joseph this. So Joseph, Kamavinga to Real Madrid. You'll know Kamavinga obviously because of his time in Ligue 1. What kind of player is Madrid getting, and do you think he'll be a very good player for them?
Kamavinga is a copy of Pogba, but he's faster and more focused, and his feet is on the ground. So Kamavinga is a very, very, very interesting player. He has a great future. I was tracking him since he was playing for Rennes, and we wanted him at PSG. We wanted him very, very, very much, but unfortunately we couldn't succeed to sell any of our players, so our budget couldn't handle him.
And, that's a first. I've never heard a PSG fan say we didn't have the budget for this.
No, it's about the UEFA
the rules,
financial fair play.
Yes, the financial fair play. So we wanted to discharge some of our players. It wasn't possible because all of our players wanted to stay and they have contracts. So you cannot push, you cannot break the rules and put your players out. That's why Kamavinga, it was impossible for us. But he's a very nice player. He's playing for France national team, but for under 19, under 21 maybe. And you will see him very soon in the first team. And you were very, very lucky. Real Madrid, really, he has a very a great future. This player, talented, fast. He has tricks, and also he's center, and he can be offensive like a striker. And the last game he gave the
assist.
The assist to I don't remember.
Rodrigo, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So Kamavinga, really, I liked him too much. We faced him many times at Ligue 1, and he was very tough player, really. Congratulations for this player, really.
Sanke, you didn't get one Frenchman, but you've got another one instead this year. Obviously.
I was quite happy to have Kamavinga. I was expecting Mbappe. Got Kamavinga instead.
I wanted to tell you that Kamavinga much better for Mbappe for you. Believe me. I wanted to have Kamavinga and take Mbappe. I give it to you. Give us Kamavinga.
That's not happening anytime soon, at least.
Knowing Perez now, he'd want both now. But yeah.
I also believe that excuse me, I believe that Perez, he made trick. He wanted to have Kamavinga, but not Mbappe. But he played with PSG and he draws their attention to Mbappe so he could get Kamavinga in one night. So that's it. It was tricky.
I'm sure. Yeah, he definitely. I'm no doubt about it.
Yeah, he is what I call a football politician. So,
yes.
Yeah, Alankrit.
Yeah, I was just thinking that Kamavinga, he seems like a very young version of Luka Modric also, and given that Modric is aging, it's probably the best move that Madrid could have done right now. They've probably invested in a player who they can keep for next 5-10 years.
Yes,
and more also if he doesn't really want a new challenge.
True, because I mean Kamavinga, apart from maybe him wanting to go back to France, he's probably at the best club in the world. Like either he's not going to go to Barcelona from here directly. That'll be crazy. But I mean, in terms of the names, probably Bayern come close to being maybe the next step or a similar sort of step, unless he wants to go to France back home. But he's kind of reached a club where not many people want to leave in the sense. And I mean, I'm very excited because
the only reason I see him leaving is if he gets like an unreal contract offer from one of the big name Premier League clubs. I don't see him moving to Bayern. We're not going to break our wage structure for him.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
way.
That's true.
No, but in terms of like for Kamavinga, I mean the deal is crazy, and like you mentioned, I think that important was you needed to find a replacement for Luka Modric. I think Zizou's departure also helped that because Zizou was so hell-bent on playing Luka Modric, Casemiro and Kroos always, no matter how old they were. It's like we always want to play with that. And the fact that he's gone, and I mean, I know that French connection was there, and there were a lot of rumors with Pogba wanting to come to Real Madrid. But I feel like you've got like an upgrade on Pogba huge upgrade on Pogba. He's younger, more attacking, more versatile, and but the question is, do you think he'll hit the ground? I mean, he's already scored a goal and he's got an assist, but do you think he's an instant hit, or do you think it'll take him some more time to become that instant hit?
I think he's very promising.
Same. So, I'm also on promising.
The most promising, I suppose, more than Antoine, right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
He's played like 34 minutes and already provided an assist and scored.
Yeah. I mean, it's great because you obviously are losing also. You don't have Hazard as much. You don't have Bale as much because they're often injured. So it's a good attacking intent player. We'll now move to Donnarumma, and one that, I mean, if you look at the number of goalkeepers PSG have, they have umpteen number of them. I think they've got some crazy number of goalkeepers. But Joseph, Donnarumma signing, what did you make of it? Was it necessary given Keylor Navas has done well for you?
Yes, indeed. And Navas still doing a great job for us. But for how long years? I think Navas will have this year, next year, maybe not. But Donnarumma, it's for 5 years. And also, if you remember last season, Navas get injured for 3 or 4 games. Unfortunately, his replacement couldn't play very well. He couldn't give the job. So we lost 4 or 5 games. One of them I don't remember if it's in Champions League or not, but in the League One, we lost very easy game. And this is, it has a very big impact on our result. So that's why we wanted another keeper, class 1, like Donnarumma inside the club. You cannot keep counting on Navas. Navas, he has also this year and the next year, I think, and after that, I don't know if he will renew or not. But we need to prepare from now.
True. I mean, I get. I mean, plus, what better replacement than a Euro-winning goalkeeper that's done so well this tournament? And I mean, obviously with the defense that PSG have now got, with at least Ramos and Marquinhos there and everyone, you've at least. It's not like you've got a leaky defense and a good goalkeeper. You've got a solid defense and a good goalkeeper. It only makes it stronger, I suppose. Pace might be a slight issue, but still, it's still a good keeper. I mean, Alankrit and Sanket, do you think? I mean, Donnarumma, I suppose, would be for a longer term, so promising, I suppose.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I suppose right off. How well are we talking promising? Are we talking? I think Kamavinga would be the most promising. I don't think anyone's rivaling that.
I agree.
But I suppose left of.
He's second on the list for me.
Second on the list?
For me as well.
All right, perfect. Okay, so now a player that at least I can talk about because, oh my God, this is probably the only signing we've ever done this window. It's been after such a promising buy and start, and I was like, okay, we've done good business. This is how we've done good business for the past few years, going in early, getting the player. So you got Konate, but after that just went, kind of just died out. For me, he's promising and at a good fee. I thought it would be much more. My worry was, I was hoping that we'd keep him and Kabak in because both have done decent. But the fact that we still got Konate in, I think he's good. Has an injury record, which is slightly problematic. I would probably put him promising, but I put him last in promising. It's just that because it feels like I don't know if he's good enough to break into that top two. We don't know yet. I'm not sure of that. He hasn't had too many games on that.
I don't know if in the pecking order is he above Joe Gomez or below him, because you've got some great defenders. Like Joel Matip is there, Van Dijk is there.
I'm not actually sure that it should be a question because, Konate was the guy who was benching Upamecano 2 years ago. Like, if it wasn't for Konate's injury, Upamecano would be still playing with the youth boys.
I haven't watched him much.
No, but that's the thing. That's my only thing. The injuries is what is I'm doubtful of, because in terms of, because our defenders are also injury prone. Joe Gomez is also injury prone. Joel Matip is also injury prone. He can get in if he comes in when, and puts in a good performance. Klopp is one of those kind of managers who, if he sees a good performance, he'll keep him for a few runs and see. I'm either torn between putting him last and promising or left of Griezmann just after Donnarumma.
So for me, I think on ability wise, he is definitely better than both Matip and Joe Gomez. So yeah, I still put him on promising, maybe not last. I might put him above Ashraf Hakimi, but the injury record is one thing that's putting me off of it.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, I'm gonna put him there. Yeah, probably fits. Let's move on now. Jack Grealish, the biggest. In terms of the money paid, it's the biggest transfer to Manchester City, 170 odd million pounds or euros, whatever. So, Alankar, let's start with you. Obviously, this from Manchester City's point of view, it kind of is. I can think like they've spent 100 million, then they've learned that Messi is wanting to leave, and then they were like, "Why have I spent 100 million on Grealish?"
It's very shocking. Do they actually need Grealish? They have Kevin De Bruyne. Why do they need
exactly?
Grealish?
They have Mahrez, De Bruyne, Ferran Torres,
Bernardo Silva. Why do they need Grealish? I have no idea why they spent 100 million on Grealish.
If they wanted to break the bank, they should have gone for Harry Kane.
That's actually a problem they definitely need to solve. And I actually read that City, I read this on the Athletic, that City never actually formally made an offer which was more than 75 million pounds to start with. Everything was 75 million plus add-ons, and Spurs definitely said we're not opening negotiations unless it's 100 million or 120 at least. And they chose to pay 100 for Grealish. I have no idea what thinking behind this transfer was.
Yeah, I thought they were going to sell because there were talks of Bernardo Silva or Raheem Sterling or someone leaving. And then I felt like, okay, maybe you're going to plug in. But no one left. It's just the same Manchester City squad. Plus you've got 100 million. Now, that being said, he has hit the ground running. He has. Yeah. But anyway, in that City side, it's very difficult to not hit the ground running because you've got creative people like De Bruyne. You've got all of the Premier League teams are kind of almost fearful of you because.
But do you really see him starting as often when KDB is back and fit?
I really can't say that with Pep with any sort of player, right? Pep loves to tinker with any lineup. So will he start? I mean, apart from the goalkeeper, maybe I don't think anyone else probably starts every match. But I don't know, man. Like, he's good, but is he 100 million? No.
I'm on 50-50 with this guy at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll have a good season, but I feel like after a while, they'll know it'll be like we know your tricks, like Bernardo Silva or like a Riyad Mahrez, where we know what to do and stop you. Okay, so I'm gonna keep him 50-50 for now. Joseph, any thoughts on Jack Grealish to Manchester City?
I think he's a key player, but as you have said. I don't know if the city need such a deal at the moment. I don't know. They spent a lot of money, but of course he's a key player. We saw him in Euro games, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
All right, I'm gonna put him 50-50 for now because it just feels like he's a good player, but not really required or not the most vital sort of person there. Jayden Sanchez. Now, this is a person who was Manchester United couldn't sign him the season before or didn't sign him the season before. Promising a position that United really, really need, the right wing.
And I think they also did great business by getting him for lesser than what they were going to pay. So, and he will need some time to adapt to the Premier League. So, I'll definitely put him as promising. He's one for the future.
Promising, where would you guys put him?
He's the third on my list. More than
after Donnarumma, right?
Yeah, after Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, cool. Okay, this is now for you, Joseph. Lionel Messi, the big one.
Yeah, oh my God.
Did you think it would happen? First of all, did you think you would sign Lionel Messi ever?
No. Honestly, no. I didn't believe it. Maybe it was easier for us to believe that Neymar will go to Barcelona, but not seeing Messi coming to PSG.
Yeah.
But it was very, very surprising for us to see Lionel Messi and to seeing him in one day saying that I'm not renewing. And on that moment, we believed that PSG will make this deal. So at the end, he's here, but he's not the Superman. He cannot do anything alone. He needs the team with him. So, and he needs time. So we need to give him his time, and hopefully he can get something for the club. Otherwise, we are very, very happy to see him inside the club.
And what was your reaction when you saw that PSG were favorites to sign when you saw that they signed him? How was the fan club as a whole going?
I'm proud to seeing him selecting our club because you know Messi is an historical player, and every club wish to have him inside his team. So seeing Messi selecting PSG is a great honor for us.
Awesome, and I'm sure he'll be an instant hit now. But you did say that he might take some time. So now this is the question: where do we put him? Do you think he'll be? I think Ronaldo would be the bigger instant hit at United just because of the class difference. Messi has players of he's got Neymar, Mbappe, everyone else also there. Now my thing is where Alankrit and Sanket.
I'm tempted to put him after Upamecano, but
I'm tempted as well there. I feel like Upamecano and David Alaba probably are they were required by those clubs.
Yeah.
Messi is important, but Joseph mentioned, I think he needs those players as well to perform. And PSG already had class players, so him coming in is like it's a bonus. It's not like you need Messi.
It's a bonus.
Yeah, it's like you got Messi. We don't need. I mean, every club needs Messi, but it's like we got him. We already have Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, and all these guys. Okay, fine. You want to leave? We're okay to sign you. But yeah, I mean, this Grealish Messi thing was fun to watch. Like the moment City signed Grealish, and then the next moment, like Messi wants to leave, and like you can see Pep, like his press conference after that's like, kind of made a mistake. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Next we've got Memphis Depay, and I think I don't know. For me, I think this would be. It's between the last two for me, in the sense that it's a good position, as in that's the position Barcelona probably need, but it feels like you're getting the wrong player for that position. It's like how old is he? He's pretty old as well, right?
It's 29,
He's
I think.
29.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes. It's like another Antoine Griezmann, and to sign him, knowing that you cannot afford to register him if you don't get rid of your players. I don't know. For me, I don't know. Where do you guys think, Sanket?
I think Depay is very good player. I think Barcelona got a very, very, very good player. He's hit the ground running as well in the league. He scored. I think he scored a couple of goals. I think he's promising for me. For me, he's promising. I mean, he and Ansu Fati. I mean, these kind of players can bring the. He may be aging. He has more like he's like more age than other players, but
he's only 27.
Yeah. So maybe Barcelona need him. Yeah.
But yeah, for me though, I maybe put him in the 50-50 bracket because I just feel like the way Barcelona are as a club. I mean, Koeman having that Dutch connection might work, but I fear for Koeman itself. Like if he leaves,
I think he'll be gone before the season ends.
I mean, there were already talks of him. There were talks that the board were talking about him leaving. But for me, it's end of promising or 50-50.
Yeah, that's where I am also tending to be because I'm actually very happy for Depay because he's worked his socks off to get back to a big club. I mean, he came to United and like, everybody expected him to set the league alight, but it didn't really happen for him. That was also under a Dutch coach. I think that was under Van.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was part of United. Yeah. Oh man, that part, that era of Manchester United, just completely forgot. They had so many.
I think even United fans want to forget that era. So I mean, he's really worked his socks off to be back at a big club. So I'm very happy for Depay. And I think at the current situation that Barcelona are in, I mean, Depay, I don't think it really gets better than getting a player like Memphis Depay at this time.
So where do we put him?
Last and promising, maybe.
Yeah, last.
Just because he's very important to Barcelona right now.
Okay, let's do this quickly. So Odegaard, there's not much to talk about Odegaard. For me, he had that loan spell at Arsenal. It was okay. I mean, again, it's Arsenal, so I mean, he had a few decent performances, and then it kind of fizzled out. So for him to sign again, I mean, Sanket, you'll know as a Real Madrid fan, Odegaard was promising, was hailed as a huge talent, but I don't know, given Arsenal's overall woes and struggles, how much of an impact he'll make or what kind of signing he'll be there.
He was superb at Real Sociedad that loan season. Then he came back to Real Madrid. And I think there were some issues with Zizou, and Zizou played him. He wasn't that good in the games, and he got injured. And then once he came back, Modric was ahead of him. And they had some issues. He asked for transfer, and we all know what happened in that Arsenal loan deal. Even after that, they got a player like Odegaard. They still have Emil Smith Rowe. He's a decent player. So, but I still don't think Arsenal signing Odegaard is a good option for them.
Do we put it on risky business? or
The way
50-50?
I'm tending
went-
50-50
the
actually.
way
because,
he went, I'm tending to put what were we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, what were you thinking choosing Arsenal? Definitely,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
maybe, yeah. Actually, with Odegaard, I really wanted him at Bayern just when like we knew that he was going to leave because he's a very good player. And even when I've just seen like the couple of games of Arsenal this season, Odegaard's actually the only one who's looked very brave or like, he's trying
Yeah.
to do something. Like nobody else in that team is actually even trying at this point.
So do we put
So,
50-50
I
behind
want
Jack?
50-50.
Sanket, I know you've got your biases against it, but
So if I keep bias aside, it's still a risky business.
so I put him more than risky 50-50. End of.
Yeah, because with Odegaard, they can still make a profit on selling him. They only spent 25 million. They can get 40 in 2-3 windows.
Okay, I'm going to put it end of 50. I think end of 50-50. We
Yeah, that's
want to.
that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go Marcel Sabitzer. Alankrit, let's hear from you.
Instant hit because he is exactly the player we need. He's got experience, he's class, he knows the league, he knows the manager. And oh my god, what a signing. Like we have Tolisso, we lost Martinez, like we just needed Sabi.
I mean, it was crazy for the amount you spent as well. It was madness.
Oh my god, what a deal.
But left of, I mean, I'm guessing these four would be.
I put him over Messi for me just because we really needed him. He's
needed.
I agree.
I put agree.
Okay. Okay. Let's Joseph Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea.
Oh, instant hit.
Yeah, but what did you make of the? Definitely a key player for them.
Yes, of course, he's a bomber. So Chelsea is a great team, but I don't know if they have such profile. Lukaku, he's a box player inside the box, and he has a very strong physical body. So you need two players to control him above the other players in Chelsea. Wow, it will be. I think Chelsea is the biggest team now, in Europe now. No one. It's very difficult to beat him, and he has such a bomber. It's too difficult to manage them to dominate them. So
yeah. No, I mean Chelsea were desperate for that kind of a striker because that's the way they play. I mean, we know Timo Werner struggles as a Chelsea striker. He got into good positions, but he needed time to adapt. Obviously,
yeah. Yes,
see, the thing with Werner is he's not really a striker, also, right? Like he's more of a winger. Lukaku, like I would say, he's top 3 strikers in the world right now. The way he scores goals for fun, like Lewandowski and Haaland, like and top 3 strikers in the world.
And one thing that I've noticed from him, especially now in Chelsea, is that he's much leaner, and it kind of reminds me of the Everton look. Like when he was at Everton, he was rapid. He used to score crazy goals. At one point, I felt like he would be the perfect striker to either complement Benzema or to kind of take over Benzema's role at Real Madrid. But I think during that World Cup 2018, he really muscled up and beefed up. And at United, he struggled for pace. But at Inter, found his way back. And for me, instant hit, probably, I'm wondering.
I'd say more than Ronaldo. I would say more than Ronaldo because he has really transformed Chelsea into title contenders. Without him, they were just like going to run for third.
Only thing is like they paid 100-odd million for it.
I think it's definitely going to be worth it because they're going to win the title. They're going to go long in the Champions League, and he brings a lot of brand value. Lukaku is going to sell a lot of jerseys.
I mean, Ronaldo is Ronaldo. Okay. Okay. Sanket, where would you?
Ronaldo.
More than Ronaldo? Okay, Joseph, do you think he'll have a bigger impact than Ronaldo or a smaller impact?
No, definitely.
Smaller. Second one, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just think that I think even Ronaldo's probably lifted United to, at least in the league, in terms of how they're playing, scary. Varane. Now, this is a very interesting one. This is the one that kind of I was not fearful of that he'd go to United that much, but it's a really good to partner Maguire. It's better if he partners Maguire than I don't know if he was just like a replacement for Maguire. He's got his issue. I know as a Real Madrid fan, you'd have seen Varane. There is a difference when he is with Ramos and without Ramos.
Varane, I mean, he's a top class player, but people say that he plays well under with Ramos. But I beg to differ. He's played so well with France national team, and that shows that he can. He is a good player and he can play with Maguire. I think it's an instant hit for me. For me, it's an instant hit because they needed to fill that position, and they did that.
And for decent money as well, right? Like what, 50?
Same. I think it's the same value as Upamecano.
40 million.
Actually.
Yeah. It was very good.
Yeah. Yeah, 40. Actually cheap, little cheap, but still almost same. So where does he fall though, in terms of how much of an impact he'll have?
He's between Sabitzer and Upamecano.
Yeah?
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Saul. Joseph, let's ask you. Saul to Chelsea, it's a loan deal. But I mean, given Chelsea's midfielder, do you think he was necessary?
Oh, I'm very sorry. I don't know too much about this player. I have no idea.
I'll ask Sanket and Alankit. You guys might know Saul a little bit more. I mean, Sanket will know a lot more from play.
I want to answer your question about whether Saul really necessary. Is any player Chelsea signed, barring Romelu Lukaku this window, is any of them really necessary? A lot of their signings are just made. Not this window, but most windows, they just sign players.
Yeah. Yeah.
They signed Zappacosta, they signed Drinkwater, Barkley, why?
Yeah. No, but I'm saying I know Conte is slightly becoming a lot more injury prone and he's aging. You've got Jorginho who's picked up now pace. But do you need that sort of, Salnikis is that box-to-box midfielder, but you've got so many midfielders in that team. You have Kovacic who could do the job. You've got, I don't know who else. You've got other attacking players like Pulisic or Havertz, or even Havertz can play box-to-box. So you've got people like that. So Saul, it's a loan deal only, but how much of an impact do you think he'll really make?
At Chelsea, I don't really think he'll make that much of impact that he did at Atletico.
Do we put him 50-50?
Yeah. I really thought after not renewing Wijnaldum, not renewing Liverpool, they would want to go for him.
We were linked with him for so long, man. There were so many rumors like Saul will come. I was like, okay, cool. I don't mind. I know he's had his issues over the past couple of seasons with Atletico. He's not performed, but before that, I would have taken Saul with my eyes closed. And for that 40 million or whatever that they were asking, yeah, man, he's worth the player. And we've seen what he can do.
Was it 40? Was it 40? I think it was 70 or something. Because even Bayern were interested at a point. And
I think later because he
70.
I think later when he wanted to leave, they were giving it a cut price or whatever. So. But yeah, Alankrit, where would you kind of?
I don't really think he's going to give a bigger impact than Kovacic right now because Kovacic has been playing really well. So I'm going to say 50-50.
For me, 50.
Last, I think less than
the last.
Last one's Tammy Abraham. Now this is a very weird one because Jose Mourinho has signed this player, which I'm not sure on what to expect from Tammy. I mean, obviously he's a decent goal scorer, I wouldn't say, but Chelsea having Lukaku felt that we can sell Tammy, and Roma of all people. Do you think the Serie A would help him? It helped Lukaku. It's a similar sort of strike.
I think it can because he scores a lot of header goals and he's very much in the box again. What really baffled me was the form.
Yeah. Sanket?
I think it's a good move from point of view of Tammy. he really
Definitely.
needed time to play, and I don't think that was he was going to get that at Chelsea.
And all that we can say about like Mourinho's like brand of football, his strikers know score goals. Like
Yeah,
always score goals. So I think Abraham's going to do really well.
And I guess it all depends on. I guess with Mourinho, if you listen to Mourinho, I think you get the best. You do the best out. He gets the best out of you, and you get the best out of him as well. And hopefully Tammy. I agree. I think it's a good move from Tammy because he would be way down the pecking order at Chelsea because you've got. I don't know who all you. We've got Havertz, who's not technically a striker, playing ahead of him. You've got Werner, who's also technically not a striker, playing ahead of him. So
there's also Michy Batshuayi, who keeps coming and going every transfer window.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right. So promising, but where would you last?
I mean, just for the ceiling he has, I'd say he's above Depay. Just for the ceiling he has.
Yeah, he's above.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I guess we're done with the top 20 transfers. So we've had, as instant hits, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo's first. We've got Romelu Lukaku, David Alaba, Dio Upamecano, Rafael Varane, Sabitzer, Lionel Messi, and Andre Silva. And promising, we've got Kamavinga, Donnarumma, Jayden Sanchez, Antoine Griezmann, Ibrahima Konate, Ashraf Hakimi, Tammy Abraham, Depay. 50-50, we've got Jack Grealish, Odegaard. I mean, to be fair, actually, Odegaard scored an insane goal today.
Yeah, I saw the free kick goal.
Yeah, so Odegaard, and we got Saul Niguez, and poor old Ben White is a risky business. So we don't really have anyone in the lowest because these are the top 20 transfers. We kind of felt that Antoine Griezmann, from Barcelona's point of view, would have been the closest that was to what were we thinking, and some of Arsenal's, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's good to know we're in for a huge fight then, at least. And yeah, I guess, I mean, this was interesting to get your thoughts on this. It wasn't as controversial as I thought. I felt like when we come to maybe, I mean, there was controversy in terms of the placement, but I feel like in terms of their performance, there wasn't much. I'm sure there'll be controversy.
Do you think there could be a what were we thinking transfer outside the top 20? Like anyone, like anything comes to your mind?
I'm pretty sure Barca's done some other sort of business, like Luke De Jong. I don't know what they maybe.
That is it.
No, I'm pretty sure, man. I'm pretty sure they've had some mad transfers. Like I don't even know, like who all.
They got Royale and then sent him back on loan.
Sent him out, not even loan. They sold him.
Oh, sorry, they sold him to Spurs. I mean, they made so much space for him to register, and then a few weeks later, he was at Spurs.
Yeah, it is mental. But like I said, I think there are a few. It can't come to mind. I'm pretty sure it'd be the lower ones, but yeah, there were a few. But I think of these, I mean, Depay. I guess given that they've sold Antoine Griezmann, it's unpromising. Otherwise, I think you'd have been a what because you already have Griezmann. Why would you want to? And that, especially given Barcelona's situation that they were making these deals knowing that they can't register. Aguero would be what were we thinking?
What were we thinking?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's knowing that Messi's left. I think if Messi's there, I said, okay, it's a decent deal to keep Messi at the club. But anyway, I guess that's about it for this particular episode of It's Classified. Thank you, Alankrit, Sanket, and Joseph for coming onto this podcast. It was a fun discussion. It was really, really fun getting your thoughts on this. I hope we can do some more. A lot more controversy will happen throughout. I don't know if you guys watching us, if you people think that this is the right list. I'm sure you have differing thoughts. This is all meant for that. So if you did... if you do have different thoughts, please do let us know in the comment section down below. And also, please do leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to do so much more on this in the near future. And we've got so much more on YouTube that we're going to be posting. Even our normal podcast will be on YouTube at some point. So, yeah. And also do check out, we've also started a Patreon page where you can show us your support. Obviously this time of financial support to help this podcast be a lot more sustainable. We've got different tiers. So we've got everything from the basic to the more extravagant. We can do bonus episodes for you. We can do all of that. So you can check it out. The link will be in the description. Check out the Patreon page. You can subscribe to the channel. You can do all of that. So like, share, subscribe. This is the first time I'm actually doing this because we've normally done audio podcasts, so this is awesome to do. But thanks, Alankrit, Sanket, Joseph. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you had fun during this episode. And I can't wait to host you in the near future.
Yeah, it was definitely fun being here. Thanks for having me again. It's always fun being on the podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, it was fun. Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Yeah, see you. And to those of you listening, that's it for episode 1 of It's Classified. I'll catch you all on episode 2, which is coming up, I guess, whenever. Until then, I'm your host, Praddy. You stay safe and see you.